today's video, I'll be answering questions 31 to 40 of the 50 Concentrix possible interview questions and answers dedicated for newbies as well as veterans. So if you haven't watched part 1 to 4 of this video, I'll put the link in the description box down below. And yes, if you were a newbie and you were looking for a call center job at Concentrix, or if you were a tenured agent who would like to be part of Concentrix as well, then this video is for you. And yes, let's dive into the questions and answers and let's begin. Alright, so again, our topic is about 50 Concentrix interview questions and answers dedicated for newbies and veterans. This is going to be part 5 of 6. If you haven't watched part 1 to 4 of this video, I'll put the link in the description box down below. And yes, this is your ultimate guide to land a job offer at Concentrix. And with that said, let's start with question number 31. Why do you consider yourself a suitable candidate for this position? So this is a commonly asked question really, and I have a sample answer for newbies. Let's start with newbies, and then later I'll give sample answer for veterans as well. So I am eager to learn new things. I can easily adapt to change. I am a good team player and I can handle stress and pressure at work. I am aware that I am completely new in this industry, but I believe that with these qualities of mine, I know I am a suitable candidate in this position. Right? So you get to sell yourself. You have to provide or present every single positive traits that you have that is related to the work for sure. So sample answer for veterans is this. As an employee who used to work in this industry before, I already have full understanding of this industry. I have a full grasp on how it looks like working here. I can manage stress and pressure, I can work independently, and I am results oriented. For me, those are the qualities of mine that makes me a suitable candidate for this position. So if you have additional sample answers, please feel free to comment that down below because it will be of great help to other job seekers as well. So number 32 is, if you were allowed to change one thing about your previous job or studies, what would it be? So for newbies, you have to relate everything in your previous studies. So if given the chance to change one thing in my previous school, I will change the way they operate the school, especially in terms of their way of processing school documents, among others. I noticed that my previous school still adopts the old way of facilitating those, and I believe they need enhancement so as to serve students and parents efficiently and effectively. So yeah, you have to showcase your innovative and creative side of thinking in this question. So for veterans, this is my sample answer. If given the chance to change one thing at my previous job, it would be the approach of my manager in that department I was in before. His way of approaching staff for me is a bit intimidating and bossy, and it causes a huge gap between leader-employee relationship. I believe that a friendly yet professional approach is way effective and way better. So comment down below if you agree with this sample answer of mine. And if you don't, tell me why. And number 33. Has there been instances when your decision was challenged by your colleague or supervisor? So this is my sample answer for newbies. Back when I was studying in college, we used to have group projects and each of us will be assigned to our group leaders. As a group leader, I sometimes encounter a group mate who opposes my way of thinking. So yes, I did experience that before. But we get to resolve that by listening to each other's side and coming up with resolution in favor of both of us. Okay? Now, a sample answer for veterans is this. I believe that it is normal in a workplace to experience two opposing views from time to time, especially between a supervisor and account associate like me. We have different perspective in certain situation, and so there are times when my supervisor would contradict what I said. Such instances are easily resolved with proper communication and open-mindedness. Okay, so yes, comment down below if you agree with this sample answer of mine. Number 34, have you ever had a problem with your peer? Can you give us an example? So this is my sample answer for both newbies and veterans. So this is my personal answer and this is true to myself. But if you've encountered such, kind of experience, then you can share that, but always send it in a positive light. So my sample answer is this. I personally did not experience having a major problem or conflict with any of my peers. I am the type of person who deals with problematic situations in a calm manner because for me, that is the best way to handle situation. Okay? So you can also say it that way if you wanted to have a safe answer. All right. Number 35 is how do you deal with a person you don't like at work? Okay, so this is my sample answer for both newbies and veterans. I am a type of person who is aware that in a working environment, we are mixed or we are a mix of people with different background, age, gender, social status, attitude, and philosophy in life. With that said, regardless of whether that colleague of mine is a cup of my tea or not, I will still treat him or her in a professional way. Okay? So, yep, number 36 is how can you handle 2 or 3 customers at the same time? So if you're a newbie, you may be thinking, how can I do that? So this is actually a question for veterans, but you can also, say something like this if you're a newbie. As an employee, or this is for veterans by the way, wasn't able to remove the option for newbies, pardon about that. So as an employee who used to work in this industry, I typically encounter situations like this during a conversation with a customer on the other line, and that customer of mine is with his or her other family members, with him or her, or when we're doing conference call with another agent on the line. When this happens, we always make sure all sides will be able to showcase their thoughts and that any conflict would be resolved in the end. So that's for veterans only, okay? Now, this is for number 37. How will you react if your customer rejects you or your idea? So this is a difficult question really, especially if you're a newbie. So good thing if you came across into this part, I have a sample answer for both newbies and veterans. So I am fully aware that in customer service world, we will be speaking with people who has different views and preferences. If it happens that I encounter a customer who wouldn't accept me or my solutions to his problems, then I have to change my approach towards him. I'll do it in a more empathetic way rather than in a transactional way. Okay, so you have to showcase your human side when delivering bad news or when you are going to deliver your resolution to a customer who has somewhat this picky side. Medyo maarte si kuya. Charot. Number 38, can you tell a time when your professor or boss appreciated you? So, sample answer for newbies is this. I can still remember the time when I received the commendation and an applause from my professor back in college because of how I delivered my class report in a very informative and confident way. I even got positive feedback from my classmates at that time. And sample answer for newbies: with my previous job, my boss would always commend me whenever I am able to close a sale. I got promoters, when I got commendations from my customers, and also when I earned the top spot in our team or in our entire department. Pardon guys, this is again for veterans, not for newbies. Okay, so now let's move on to question number 39. Can you share a time when you raised a concern about your teacher or boss? So, sample answer that I have for both newbies and veterans is this: I personally didn't experience raising a concern about my teacher or boss because whenever I encounter difficulty in situations involving them, I go to them directly to let them be aware of it and so we can fix it together. Okay, and then the last question for this part is, what was the reason why you leave your previous employment? And this is my sample answer for veterans only because this question is for veterans. So the reason why I left my previous job is not because I intended to quit due to low salary, poor management, or unprofessional boss, but because I was one of those who had been affected by the pandemic that struck last 2020. It came to a point where we only have to work twice a week and get paid for 2 days only, too. That's when I decided to leave and look for a more stable job, and I found this company of yours. And that is it, you guys. I hope you've learned something from this video. If yes, kindly visit my Facebook page and please like it. Thank you. And yes, I also have to say, please make sure to share this video, like this video if you liked it, follow me on my social media